I had fell asleep and then I had woke up, and sometimes when I wake up, it's a natural habit that I might just check my notifications. So I just go through and I start scrolling through social media sometimes in hopes that I just fall back asleep. Then I was scrolling through the Instagram stories and I landed on this picture right here, and it led me to Lenny Kravitz's page. Now yesterday was quote unquote International Women's Day, which was March 8th. And you had a lot of women posting up images and stuff like that. I guess woman empowerment things, and it was within good taste. But this picture right here that is floating around the web really rubbed me the wrong way. And didn't even just rub me the wrong way, but it rubbed some others the wrong way too. It even rubbed some women the wrong way. So that should let you know that this image um was unacceptable. So here you have Lenny Kravitz. That's Lenny Kravitz, in case y'all didn't know. And he's holding up this sign that he wrote where it says, "It's time to turn it over to women." And he put women, and he underlined the word women. Men have had their chance to run the world, and look where we are, dot, dot, dot. So basically what Lenny Kravitz is saying is that how the world is ran today, or at least by the certain men who are in power, it's basically dysfunction, and that it would probably be better ran if all women ran the world establishment. Like if you was to take every man that's in a position of power right now, snatch them out and replace them with a woman, it would be ran better. This sounds like something that's coming out of the mouth of someone who might have been a Hillary supporter. Or, because when you really digest it, who is he really talking to here? Is he talking to one person? Is he talking to several people, or what? And when I tell you that a lot of people was looking at it like, Now, of course, in his comment section, he had a lot of women eating it up. He did. I read through a good half of the comments, not all of them, because Lenny Kravitz has a lot of followers. He also had a lot of male supporters supporting this as well. Then you had some people who were more balanced about the situation, saying things like, I don't know Lenny because, some women have been in power and they didn't do any better than the men, or maybe this would be an opportunity for men and women to come together, maybe to share in that power instead of having it where the woman can kick over the man and just get into the position. And here's the thing, what's possibly happening here is almost inserting her and making her into a Mary Sue. If y'all don't know what a Mary Sue is, that's basically whenever a woman can get into a position and she doesn't have to really work hard to attain something, whereas the man had to train or work harder to get to the position he's in. That's why if you ever heard of listening to certain conversations, like with Star Wars, the more later Star Wars movies, the Rey character, they compared her to Mary Sue because in episode 7, which was called the Force Awakens, when she had to fight the Kylo Ren character, she automatically gained the knowledge of the Force and was able to fight him in a lightsaber battle without having gone through any type of formal training. Unlike the other Jedi before her that had to go through the training and learn the ways of the Force. That is what a Mary Sue is. They even have one called Gary Sue where it is the opposite and everything applies, but this time it's to a male. But in most cases, it's always a female that they push it towards because that's usually what it is. Like they have to make a way for the woman to be in a position where she does not have to endure any kind of hardships before she gets into the position that she's in. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's almost like they want to put a woman in an infrastructure type position that she did not have a hand in building up. it's almost like she's about to inherit something, and they're supposed to just make it better for her. I would like to know from Lenny Kravitz, what makes you think that a woman would do any better? There's a reason why a lot of people were glad Hillary Clinton didn't become president. It was a lot of black people that were glad she didn't become president either. So Lenny Kravitz has to be very careful when he's putting this out there. Not only that, we can clearly look at this note that he wrote, and what he put up on Instagram was nothing but a dog whistle language to a lot of these feminists. Because you should see some of the other stuff that they wrote into his comment section. If y'all don't believe me, I'll leave the link to his image. Because I know all of you don't have an Instagram account. I'll leave the link to that particular image in the description, and it'll take you straight there. You can look through the comments yourself. It's the most recent picture, I believe, that he posted on his page. Because when I saw this, I was like, whoa, hold on, time out. He could have worded this a whole lot differently and still got his point across. But we saw he was pandering. This is nothing but a pander post right here. I even saw some people leave up post on that International Women's Day thing saying about how men are trash. Y'all already have a whole month that now see, this is what I call a double self-serving. This month is called Women's History Month. You know, celebrating women throughout history who have contributed to society. But then they gave you a double dosage by giving you not only a month to celebrate, but they gave you a whole day to celebrate within the month called Women International or International Women's Day. That's what you call a double self-serving. And you know what? I had no problem. You know, I have no gripes with it or nothing like that. I even saw some women who I follow on Instagram, whether I'm related to them or I work with them or I'm friends with them, whatever, leaving up post about International Women's Day yesterday, and I had said nothing about it. I was like, let them do them, until I saw this post, and ironically, this came from a person who is not even a woman. How about that? I would expect this to come from a feminist. It almost sounds like a feminist probably wrote this. This looks like a note written by one of those third wave feminist, a person you can't even have a conversation with if you don't have tits and a vagina. But this really made me look at Lenny Kravitz in a whole different way, because he usually, like, not usually, but he pretty much used an entire feminist talking point in this one image, and he probably thinks that that's okay. It's not okay. And even though Lenny Kravitz is he comes from a black mother and a white father, the world will always see Lenny Kravitz as black. Like, if you look at Lenny Kravitz, he looks like your typical light skinned or black guy, and he's not even that light. Like, when I first heard of Lenny Kravitz, I didn't even know that he came from an interracial marriage. I thought he was a straight up and down black guy until I found out otherwise, which was only a few years ago. It was very recent. But I don't agree at all with this post, and that does not make me sexist or misogynistic. It makes me a realist. Because if you was to snatch all the people that's in power now, like all the men that's in power now, and replace all of them with women, this world would not get any better. It would probably get worse. And I'm not saying it's because women can't hold a position to do the stuff that men do, but let's be real here. It's a heavy emotional level and toll that women go through that would make them unable to do or be in work the position that they're put in. And a lot of them go on a power trip whenever they get into certain positions of power. Like, look at what's going on with this Me Too stuff right now. Half of them won't even be able to get hired to do entry level jobs because of that. So what makes you think putting them in a position of power, like a CEO, where a man was already holding that position, what do you think that's going to do? That Me Too thing ruined all of that, if you asked me. who knows what she would actually do if she got into that position. Just because you don't like the president right now, and I think that's another reason he probably put up this post. Just because you don't like your current president right now don't mean shit. And I'm looking through some of the comments, and some people were saying stuff about prime ministers who are women who are bad. Someone even went as far and mentioned Margaret Thatcher and saying, do you really want someone like her in a position of power? So you got to really think about this. And this is not me coming down on Lenny Kravitz. And notice I'm not going off on him right now. Mainly probably because it's early in the morning when I'm recording this video. But the point still remains that this post right here was not thought out at all. It really wasn't. I don't know if he was doing it to piss off people or if he was pandering. But I think it probably is somewhere in between. It was probably somewhere in the middle. Because basically what it's saying is that men aren't shit. And this is coming from a man. This isn't, like I said, this isn't a woman posting it up. You would think that a woman, a third wave feminist in particular, would have posted that or would have took this picture with that same exact sign, but she didn't. Not to say a third wave feminist probably didn't repost this though. But I just got to be completely honest. Just because she's a woman does not mean she's qualified for the position. Point blank, period. I'll say the same thing if it was a guy. If he's not qualified for the position, hell, look at who we currently have as our as the president, because I refuse to lump him in and say our. Look at who we currently have as the president. He is far from qualified to hold that position, and look at where he's at. And guess who was the majority that got him into office? Over 52%, maybe even more, white women. So if they'll vote for someone like him to get into office, you should be even more scared of what kind of woman they'll put into office, because she could have the same mindset as him, maybe even worse. And it's kind of hard to fathom that someone could have a worse mindset than him, but stranger things have happened. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. I could go on about this forever, but I think y'all pretty much get where I'm going with this. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one.